Do people ever say a half baker's dozen if they mean 6.5?
Oh.
Nope. People never say that.
Yeah, people never ever say that. Kudos.
Oh.
So I want to tell you guys a story, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we introduce the guest first? Or
Should we
Yeah, let's
listen?
introduce the guys.
I want to hear this really badly.
Yeah. Ship, can you go ahead and take us in?
Hello, I'm Shippiddge. What am I supposed to say? I
that's
I
fine.
make startups. Okay, that's good.
Talk yourself up. Come on. Be proud of your accomplishments.
Oh, I do a animated show on YouTube called Starter Squad. It's about Pokemon. That's what I do right now. That's YouTube. You watch it.
All right.
What'd you have for breakfast?
I had an egg and avocado toast with coffee. Keep going. I like these.
That sounds bloody good, actually. What's the nicest YouTube comment you've read in the last week?
Oh my god. Where's episode 10? That means they watch my show and want to see the next one.
That is true. That is always a good feeling when someone's like, make more, and you're like, I'm trying.
By the way, you told us beforehand that you were going to go ahead and reveal live on air when episode 10 is coming out, so go ahead and do that.
Only to you guys, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's coming out on...
Okay. So I'll just leave that. So there's that.
I named it something you will never find, so just you guys get to see it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's... I want to tell my story. Okay. So when I was a kid, I went to this church event.
Ooh.
And it was kind of like a cocktail party where it's like, they just had like hors d'oeuvres and stuff. And so...
Fancy kid.
Yeah, I was new to shrimp at this point. Like, I lived in Minnesota, so it's, we're not exactly like exotic with our seafood.
Makes sense.
And so the problem with shrimp when you eat them raw at a cocktail bar is that you have the tail. Like, you're stuck with the tail.
Mm.
And I didn't know where any of the trash cans were. So I went up to an adult who, my dad will listen to this and know it's Jeff. I'll go ahead and bleep that in post. But I was like, oh, I need a trusted adult to tell me what to do. And so this guy told me that the tradition is whenever you finish a piece of shrimp, you put the tail in your pocket. And you just pocket all the shrimps.
Mm.
And so here's the thing. I was like 6, so I believed him.
Oh,
And so
he was lying?
Yeah. So I was like, I ate like 13 shrimp and I put them all in my pockets. And then later, like, my mom did the laundry and she was like, what the fuck? Like, there was a bunch of like shrimp tails in the pockets.
Shrimp pocket.
So that was my shrimp cocktail pocket story.
I feel bad. I believed you, first of all, about the tail thing, and I'm not even 6. And second, I think you did better than me, because if I was in your position, I'd be so nervous that there weren't any trash cans, I would just eat the shrimp tails.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I thought like that was what you were going to say, is that you didn't realize you're not meant to eat the shrimp tails and then you ate too many and then your tummy hurt.
You can eat the shrimp tails. Some people do.
Yeah, you can.
They shouldn't.
In fact, you should.
Yeah. It's like you can also eat the wrapper for the banana, but I mean...
Yeah.
Well, no,
yeah,
that you
pocket
shouldn't.
them instead. Don't bananas have like a certain amount of
Radioactivity.
radiation in them?
Yes.
Yeah. Every one you eat is a certain micromort, which pushes you closer to the edge of life and death.
Oh,
So don't eat too many bananas.
or you'll get superpowers.
No, because
Yeah.
I feel like... Yeah, I mean, like, if they turned you into Spider-Man, I don't think they'd sell them.
No, it's like, it's a very minuscule amount, but it's like, if you do eat a shitload of bananas, you do have like slightly more radiation in you that could be harmful. Isn't apple seeds don't they have like arsenic in them or something?
Cyanide.
Cyanide, yeah, that's it.
And if
Same thing.
anything, eating too many bananas will turn you into Banana Man instead of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You'll have all the powers of a banana.
What are those?
Potassium.
Potassium and
slip.
making people slip like a cartoon.
Giving me bad heartburn sometimes for some reason.
Oh, if I had the power to do that, I would use it.
It's a power that like my
Wait, how
brain
did they give you heartburn? Aren't they a very like a basic neutral kind of sludge food?
every time I had, because I used to have them before I went to the gym, and then I'd just like every time I'd be doing anything that involves like sit-ups or like abs or anything, I'd get the absolute worst heartburn of my fucking life. But if I didn't have a banana, I'd be fine. So it's a very specific use case and probably not a very good superpower. But if you could give someone who's about to go to the gym heartburn, I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess.
I need to write this down.
You kind of wrecked their day. Someone in the chat says, at discord.t1podcast.com, if you want to tune to these episodes live, 400 bananas need to be eaten to kill someone. So...
Well, I think that's more just choking at that point.
Oh, okay.
But I think...
Wait, no, I don't think they meant at once, Kudos.
They did say it once.
No, just over the course of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you guys know what a micromort is?
No. I just assumed that was some science term that I didn't need to understand for context.
I think it's I'm going to totally get this wrong, but it's like the likelihood that you are going to die, like just of anything. So like
that's how you measure it.
Okay, so how many micromorts do you have, Kudos?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track lately. Here we go. As a unit, a micromort is a unit of risk defined as 1 in a million chance of death. They're used to measure riskiness of day-to-day activities.
That's how they calculate like insurance and stuff.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, it's probably that kind of thing. But bananas do have enough of radiation in them to be classified to be given their own micromort rating.
Yeah.
Sounds like we should be wielding these.
Yeah. Someone in the chat says, "Welcome back to Factor Crap." That would be a great name for this podcast if we didn't already have one. Wow.
Factor Cap. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that topic about things that parents or adults tell you when you're a kid that you just believe because you have no reason not to. Well, then I asked my dad what several, like I knew that several was a denomination of like some kind of I knew it meant several things, but I didn't know how many. I guess the point of several is it can be like 1 to 7. That's usually how I rate it, or maybe more like 3 to 7. Anyway, it's a certain number of things, and I asked my dad what it meant, and he said it meant 12. So for the longest time, I was like, there's several people there, or whatever, but meaning 12. And I'm pretty sure I brought that up. I proudly brought that up in school, and everyone made fun of me. Actually, no, that was that. There's a place called Pumpernickel's, like a restaurant, family restaurant, and I used to love going there with my dad. But he always called it Pumpkin Knickers, and I couldn't read at the time, so that's just what I called it too.
Ooh.
And I went to school on Monday or whatever, and they were like, "So what did you do on the weekend?" It was like a show and tell thing, I guess. And I was like, "We went to Pumpkin Knickers," and they had to like, everyone laughed, the teacher to be like, "You meant Pumpernickels, right?" And I was like, "I don't know." So thanks, Dad.
Yeah, your dad's a jerk. Although, to be fair, I guess if you're describing a dozen people, that is several. Like,
it applies. He didn't completely lie to you.
Yeah, but he made it sound like that's just you can replace it for 12 entirely, like baker's dozen's 13. You can say several. Also, why do people say half dozen instead of 6? It's so much longer.
It makes it sound like there's more.
Yeah,
I got a half dozen here.
Well, yeah, I think it's like a marketing term.
Yeah,
it is nice to say. It feels good to say it. You feel like you're kind of flexing your English muscles a little bit instead of just saying the number.
Also, I feel like it's usually used in the context of like donuts, where it's usually come in a dozen, so it's like you can just kind of convention.
And eggs.
Yeah, eggs too.
Do people ever say a half baker's dozen if they mean 6.5?
Ooh.
Nope. People never say that.
Yeah, people never ever say that. Okay.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast, Shippiddge.
Yeah.
It sounds like your dad was just being a dick. When my parents would do that kind of stuff, it sounds like it was for my own good. Like, I got addicted to this word, like, that I found out one day was like quaff. And I just kept saying quaff, quaff, quaff. And my mom got so annoyed that I was saying it so much that she was like, that's a bad word. You can't actually say that in public. It's bad. So I had to stop saying it. It was just to shut me up, though.
That's smart. Do you have any things like that where like your parents were just or actually like do you have the actual stories of when you were told not to say certain words? Like you might not even know what they meant. You just like I remember once I was impersonating Skeeter from Doug. Mm-hmm. Classic character.
Honk, honk.
And I think I was just saying weird words, and I was saying for some reason I had like the suffix like anchor in my bed. And so I went through a whole bunch of them, and then I said wanker. And then Dad, we were at a shopping mall, and Dad was like, don't ever say that again. And I was like, what did I do?
No,
Do you guys remember any of those?
I knew the real bad words, and I never said them. I was a fearful young child.
Mm-hmm.
Have you said them since?
I asked permission to say them as a teenager, and they were like, you could say fuck now.
Mummy, may I say fuck?
That's a really weird rite of passage.
I joke, but that's how it actually went, and I did. I'm just that way.
You guys got any other like weird childhood stories that you guys want? Because I have another one I can bring up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you go, and then I got one.
Okay, and I know that these stories always have to do with like Christian events or something, and the reason for that is because my dad is a pastor, so I was invited to them a lot and stuff. So like that's why that's always the case when I was like this age. But I remember I got this magazine. And it was like a Christian, like, cool kids kind of magazine is the best way I can describe it.
Ooh, neat.
Like the magazine that you would want to get as a kid if you were like a Lutheran.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, the best way I can put it.
I don't know what Lutheran is, but it sounds cool. Does that mean Lutheran?
Lutheran is a variety of Christianity.
Yeah.
So I remember it's such a strange thing that I'm not sure if it was real or not. Which is that, okay, so they were advertising an extreme sports camp, like in the magazine, like you could go to a camp out and like, like one of the, and do like skateboarding and stuff and, learn tricks on your bike. And they included an application that you could fill out and mail to them in order to be considered to go. And they had this one line on there, which to this day, I do not understand.
Okay.
And they said, and I swear I'm not making this up, if you use the word extreme on your application, you can't come.
They just got so pissed off with all these kids like defaulting to that.
I guess so.
They're too inundated with that word. They hear it on a daily basis. They're sick of it. They don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah, this is it's stuck with me forever. This idea that some guy who's in charge of like the marketing for this is so fucking sick of the word extreme that like he actually like he makes a point of putting it in the application for some reason. Like
where would you have been able to put it? Was there like a part where like you have to describe yourself and how much of a radical dude you are?
Oh yeah, I think there was. I think that there's like a character section or something.
Right. Your stats block and everything. Yeah. That's really bizarre. Maybe that was like to see whether you can follow basic instructions.
That would make sense.
Well, why would that be a test?
Yeah, it could be, if you can't even read this, how can you do an ollie?
I guess. But I mean, the thing is, these were extreme sports. Like, I get being frustrated by the term, but that's like, like someone advertising for Sonic the Hedgehog being like, if you use the word Sonic, you can't get hired by us. Like, it's just kind of part of the job.
It seems more like to me the people that sell hedgehogs and say like, if you call your hedgehog Sonic, you can't have one.
Yeah,
they're just sick of hearing it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you spray paint one of our hedgehogs blue and call him Sonic, you can't have him.
Yeah. By the way, I would feel bad if we didn't actually talk about Ship's work at all here. We should kind of get into that.
Yeah, we probably should. Actually, hold on, I have one more story first real quick.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It's very short. It's the same as the wanker one. I was very young, and I was at my dad's girlfriend's house at the time, and one of the windows facing onto the street was really condensated, and I was really bored because there's nothing to do at her house. So I was just like drawing in the like in the condensation.
Oh, like penises?
No, I was too young for even that. Here's the thing, I was very innocent at this point. And I was just drawing like lines and fucking shapes and stuff. And I drew a plus, and then I gave legs to all the lines in the plus. And I realized now I drew a swastika. And my dad like ran over. I didn't know. Again, I was so young, I didn't even know what the fuck that meant. I was just drawing stuff. Yeah. And my dad like ran over and smeared it out and told me never to do that again. That's where I learned what a swastika was.
Oh, I have a mini story that's kind of related to that, of like childhood naivete. It's like real quick. Then we'll get into Ship stuff. Okay, so back when I was a kid, I was playing Pokemon Red.
Oh.
Yeah. What is that? Is that like not okay to say?
What happened? What happened?
It's related to the guest.
These stories
Okay.
usually, these Pokemon Red stories end up in debauchery. What happened next?
Okay, well, no, it's just a little cute thing that happened, which is, okay, I forgot whether it was a Marowak or a Cubone that I caught, and so, obviously in the Pokemon games, you get to nickname your Pokemon, and I'm thinking, and okay, I'm like,
did you call
what?
him Boner?
Yeah, I called him Boner because I thought, that's like,
That's what he does.
A bone
That's his
guy.
profession.
Yeah, and I had no idea that meant something else.
I knew they end in debauchery. They always do.
Yeah.
my naming convention for all my Pokemon was always just to add a Y on the end of like either their name if it's short enough or like something like what you did with Bonus. So I'd call them like Boney instead. You know, if there was like a defining trait about them, I'd do that.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a good naming system, but it was. I mean, you catch a lot of Pokemon, so you need something in place. Otherwise, you're going to run out of ideas really quick.
Yeah. Anyway,
shoot,
Speaking
man.
of pocket monsters,
you guys were happy-go-lucky kids. I'm trying to think of my own childhood stories, but all I could think of is like, I went to a Christian school and like I brought a Pokemon thing to school, and they had a whole thing about this is black magic. It's from the devil, and if you keep engaging with it, you're going to hell. And I was like, I don't want to go to hell, so I threw my Pokemon toy away, and it was just like, it's evil.
That's really sad.
yeah.
I did a whole video on that actually on like the moral panics of Pokemon because it was just looking back on it, it's so weird like how caught up everyone was on that. Like I was playing a bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla lately, and there's literally parts in that where you raid like Christian monasteries and kill everyone inside, and I haven't heard a peep about that. You go back to the 90s and people were mad that these Pokemon, like these fantasy creatures from Japan, were existent. Pretty much the only thing that I could see religion getting mad at was the evolution thing, but that was more of like a metamorphosis than like actual evolution. It just shared the same name. It's weird.
I think they just, what's it called? It's like how they went on Harry Potter. They just don't like mystical things that our children are getting into. It distracts you from Jesus.
It's to me, as someone who was raised in a secular environment, that just seems like so bizarre to me. It's like you're putting your religion on the same levels as Harry Potter. Like everyone knows Harry Potter and Pokemon isn't real, so when you treat it as though it is, kind of
not everyone knows that.
Well, I mean, I hope they're real. That would be pretty sweet. I love the idea that Harry Potter's real somewhere.
Harry Potter could be out there somewhere doing his magic. I have faith.
I mean, we could all just be muggles. We wouldn't know.
Speaking of your Pokemon video, kiddos.
Yes.
I want to point out, I did leave a comment on there, but I want to read it on air. Like, because do you remember what I said? Do you remember my story?
Vaguely. Bring it up again.
So, like, back in the day, one of my kid friends, his name is Paul, he started a rumor on his website. This is back when people had websites, right?
Sure.
And so he put a rumor on his Pokemon website that you could get like certain special Pokemon if you put your Game Boy in a microwave for like a very short amount of time. Yeah. And this was kind of before like cheat codes were actually vetted. Like, you know, like people would actually like try this. Like this was back in the era where even like Nintendo was publishing like April Fool's Day jokes that you could get Yoshi in the game and people were buying it. So he got in like a minor amount of internet trouble back then for that. I just thought that was really, really cheeky.
That is rough, man.
I would not have fallen for that.
Yeah, but some people did.
Do you guys have any rumors like? Well, I mean, obviously that was yours last. So, but do you guys have any other ones like that where like people, you know, kids at school told you lies about the games? Because I remember one dipshit at my school. He didn't say. I don't think I believed it. This wasn't as bad as the microwave thing, although arguably it's worse because it wastes a lot more of your time. I think you said you could get like a Pikachu god, which is like
the Pokegods.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? First of all, I think it was because like Yu-Gi-Oh was out at the time as well, and it's like, oh, the Egyptian god cards are so powerful. You can get one in Pokemon, but it's a Pokemon god. And I think he said you had to catch like every single Pokemon in the game, level everyone to like max level, and then like beat the Elite Four 100 times, and then you turn your Game Boy upside down and pull the cartridge out while it's still on and plug it back in, and then you'll have a Pokemon god. So I guess he was just setting it up in a way that he knew I'd never like have the time to actually go through and get every single Pokemon and beat the Elite 400 times. Don't even know if that's possible, but anyway, fuck that kid. Do you guys have any stories like that?
Yeah, shoot, man, I'm super gullible. I had Pokemon Yellow when I was a little kid, and I had trouble with the Onyxes because Pikachu, and that was the only one I used. And a kid at school said,
I had Pokemon Yellow as well.
is that the only way to catch Onyx is with a Master Ball? And I was like, of course. So got the Master Ball, and I was like, yes, I got an Onyx now.
That is tragic. I'm so sorry.
I had Pokemon Yellow, and here's another church story. I was at the kids club at church, and I kind of hid my Game Boy away like in the couch because like I was gonna go do something else for a second, and I came back a few minutes later, and my game was gone. My Game Boy was still there, but the game had mysteriously disappeared. And like my naive, nice little kid brain didn't realize it at the time, but like many years later, I realized some kid stole my game. Like, what the fuck? Like, who steals Pokemon? Yeah, exactly. It was really messed up.
He's going straight to heck. Yeah,
exactly.
That's such a tragic thought. That was what came up a lot in my video. My research is like a lot of schools banned. That's the other thing is like back in the 90s, it was trading cards. Like the games were popular and like we had games, but you needed to have a Game Boy and the game to play them, and not everyone could afford that, obviously. But anyone could afford a couple bucks for a pack of cards or secondhand cards or fake cards or whatever. So yeah, and I guess it's a lot more exciting to show your friends like your big folder of cards instead of like your Game Boy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there were so many stories I found of kids being like jumped for their cards or like pushed into dumpsters, or like so many schools banned them. Was Pokemon banned at your guys' school?
No, it actually
but
wasn't.
Not for that reason.
Oh, so yours was for the religious connotations?
We had kind of a compromise where they said keep it to recess.
Sure,
that's good.
I think we might have had, I can't remember, but we definitely we were allowed it for a while, and then just too many kids were complaining that like they did a shit trade, or they wanted to take backsies on a trade, and then other teachers just got sick of it, so they just banned them outright. But my house was like around the corner from school, so kids would always just come around to my place after school and trade there instead, which is, I guess, a good for me.
Yeah, I remember one of my teachers was like, they let you play it and talk about it in school for a little while, but then like it got to the point where basically my friends and I would sit down and we were like, hi, Pokemon, let's talk about this for the next 6 hours. And so he had like a come to Jesus talk with us, like, guys, you need to keep it to recess only, like this is killing my will to live. So I respected that. Like, that was fair. Like, you get your trades done during recess, which if you guys don't have that in your country, it's just kind of like after lunch you go run around for a little while to burn up all the food energy, and then you go back to class. Oh,
I thought recess was in the morning.
Some places do have a recess in the morning, but it's usually right after lunch.
Well, for us, it was before, and then lunch was the after period. We get 2 breaks.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, you have morning tea, and then you have lunch, and then you have afternoon tea. That was what we did.
Yeah, we don't have tea here.
You got screwed out of tea time, Lars.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lars, you fucking idiot. Nice recess, dummy.
I like the compromise here. You're letting us play Pokemon at recess. Yeah. You could have gotten so much more.
Yeah. I think they gave you like an hour for recess though. Like they were pretty liberal with it.
Damn.
Yeah.
When did you?
That's too much.
What time did you finish school then?
I don't know. I don't remember. These are just guesses. Yeah. Yeah, I graduate next year. Coronavirus really kind of screwed up the timing for that. No. Okay. So
yes,
we've been talking for a half an hour. We have yet to get into Ship stuff. Let's do that. Let's throw him a bone here. Ship,
wait,
I went ahead and
does things.
Yeah, I went ahead and watched Starter Squad today. I have never seen it before.
Ooh.
Our agent TJ set this episode up, and I got to experience it for the first time.
Neat.
Likewise.
I would say the first episode and a half started out a little bit slow, but after that, I quickly came to appreciate the pretty shocking violence and like nihilism of the characters and stuff.
I do like how dark it turns out of nowhere. I think that was a nice twist.
And I mean, it's a project of gradual but very steady improvement at this point, to the point where like at the end of it, it's like a magnum opus kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
Shoot, man, it hasn't even. I feel like it's not even halfway done lengthwise, and it scares me.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this rate, the last episode is going to be like 4 hours. It's going to be like a Snyder cut worth of material.
It seems like it, and that's what's scaring me. Bottom line, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were fantastic, my friend. I've still got a few more to watch.
Cool.
Like I said, I fucked up the timing on this and thought I had a bit more time before we started, but I did watch about over half of them, I think. And yeah, no, they're awesome, man.
You haven't gotten to the second half is the best part.
What?
Yeah, second half gets really picks up. Also, noticed a couple of names in there. Mr. Mick Lauer.
Yeah, Mick's in it.
Mick.
Yeah, I was like, wait, Mick is Hitmonchan? Okay.
It took me a second. Cool. I was like, this guy's really... Actually, a lot of your characters are very familiar. Like, there's like Shippiddge as well. I think he's in it.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, yeah. And then Corona Vargas was in there.
Oh, Matt.
Coronavirus.
I generally... Oh, yeah, he's right here in the chat right now.
Yeah.
I generally like to put in creators of things that I like. And episode 10, I got the opportunity to work with some people that I've been a fan of for years. So I'm really excited to get that one off the ground. The whole thing is like I take a lot of voices of people whose work I really like, and I want to see them in a certain character. So I like that I got getting the opportunity to do that with some of these guys.
That's awesome.
So is Mick your dad or something?
I hope so.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if he was my dad.
You can't confirm that he isn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I kind of can. Like, that's been established.
Okay. Well, that aside, yes.
Yeah, you were saying?
Oh, yeah. I also very impressed with the cinematography. That also kind of caught me off guard. There's some really good... I really like some of your shots, and that's a weird compliment to give.
Looks like film school paid off.
So you're a film grad.
Kind of. I studied. It's like more of a media thing. I started to study modern culture and media at Brown.
At Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Brown one of the good ones?
Yeah, it's an Ivy League. Then I went on to do Pokemon videos.
It's paid off.
Yeah, yep, worth every penny.
That's awesome. I studied digital media, not at Brown, because no one knows any of the... That's the problem with going to school in New Zealand, is even if you went to a really good one, no one knows what the fuck it is.
I don't think actually going to an Ivy League has ever actually helped land anything. It's always just been more of my work and what you can do with the skill set you learn. I've yet to use that as leverage somewhere.
As also as creatives, if you're talented, that's worth more than a degree. A degree definitely helps with a lot of the groundwork stuff, but I sometimes think, man, if I'd spent the 4 years I spent at uni just sitting at home animating and learning to model the entire time, I would probably be a significantly better artist than I am now.
I think at the end of the day, it's about finding the right mentor, because I've been to quite a few schools, and a couple of the classes I had at Brown, I was like, this wasn't really worth it. And some of the classes I went out and sought out really good teachers, I've learned so much from that. It's always the class itself rather than the uni as a whole. Yeah,
that's true. I also feel I don't know, how technical did Brown get with actually teaching you technical skills, or was it more groundwork of artistic mediums, or not mediums, artistic tenets and that sort of thing?
It completely depended on classes. Some classes went full on with the art stuff and theory, and others in one class we just straight up learned Maya, and we did a whole foundational computer animation thing, and that really leveled me up in terms of what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. That was my favorite class.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I did the same. We learned Maya at uni as well. But it was, some of the classes were just also nonsense. They made us do all sorts of other weird shit that had nothing to do with 3D art, which is all I wanted to do. So that was good. But then there's another university in Auckland, which is just technical stuff. And as a 3D artist, even if you're very talented artistically, there's so many technical hurdles you have to jump over to be able to like make your vision come true. So I sometimes feel like maybe the people from my university are better artistically, but they lack the ability to actually realize that, versus these guys who might not have quite as good, I don't know, an eye for things, but they can actually make stuff happen. So there's, 3D art's a unique one, I suppose.
I think at the end of the day, it is really your end product that is your resume, rather than, oh, I went to this or this school. It's your demo reel. It's what you've made.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, if you're just a good artist, you don't necessarily need to go to university. There's definitely benefits to going to university. It helps you like mature and you meet nice people, and there's definitely positives to both. Yeah, the connect. Well, I haven't made any real. Well, I got a girlfriend out of it. I suppose that was maybe worth it.
There you go.
A 40 grand girlfriend.
Kudos. I noticed something. I want to bring it up because I think it's funny. I really don't mean this in any offensive way.
Oh God, here we go.
The way that your accent pronounces artistically, you drop the R, and I can't not hear it that way. Like, it's just just an amusing little quirk of the accent there.
Wait, so instead of artistic, so I just say like AH-tistically? Or are you saying I'm saying autistically?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't not hear it.
Artistically. Yeah, it's where I'm from. The way we pronounce R's is a unique and exciting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, though. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind for the future in case I need to give a talk on artistry, and I accidentally give a talk on autism instead.
Yeah. Okay. So, I have another childhood thing to bring up. I had in my notes.
Okay.
Sure.
This is the last childhood episode starring Shippiddge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can talk more about ship stuff too. Like, we don't. That doesn't have to be the entire.
I want to hear Lars's childhood story. Nothing will stop you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm also in for this. I like these.
Okay, so I had a lot of friends with trampolines back in the day.
I like where this is going.
Yeah, this was kind of like right before they started putting in nets, like where they you have like a mandatory net around your trampoline. So we would just like raw dog the trampoline basically. And looking back on it, I am shocked that I'm still alive. Like,
dude, same.
Me too.
Like, we had no concept of safety on them whatsoever. We were always trying like the dumbest tricks where we do like flips in the air and stuff. And I could have died on probably a daily basis at that point in my life very easily. And I'm like kind of impressed that I didn't.
Well, I had one. So I was the kid with the trampoline, and all it had was like blue foam around the springs, and that was it. Like, and I was on that thing every day for ages, like for so long. And then I started getting I started doing dumb shit. Like, I'd tip it on its side. So that, like, it's like, this is when I was probably like 10, like starting to get a bit bigger and like a bit more reckless. I'd tip it up so that it was like tall, how do I describe this? So like it was about as tall as it could go while tipped up resting on the legs, and then I would run up the trampoline side and grab the bars at the top and ride it down.
Wow.
As it like fell back down. It was so fun. But
but you could have very easily died.
I've never broken a bone to this day. Somehow I just managed to not. I guess I was on it all the time, but I wasn't that reckless.
Well,
you guys had magical childhoods. I'm glad you didn't die.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Wait, unlike Shippiddge.
Unlike Shippiddge, who is actually joining us from the spirit realm, also known as Hell. Turns out Pokemon was the devil.
Uh-oh.
They were right.
You guys have any interesting childhood injuries?
No.
No.
I had a hernia once. That sucked.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. I didn't really get injured too much, though. Like, I got, one time I sprained my foot. That was about it. I've been pretty lucky with that.
I just stayed inside and played fucking GameCube all day, so I didn't really put myself in a place where I could get injured.
Yeah.
They broke my spirit as a kid. I don't think that counts, though.
That can be worse than an injury.
You went to a religious school. Shouldn't you have the most powerful spirit amongst all of us? Shouldn't you be able to heal us or something?
I'm pretty sure they sap it from you in those schools.
Yeah.
This is interesting. So you guys both went to religious schools?
Oh, no. The only religious aspect of my childhood is just I went to church.
And your dad was a pastor?
Yeah.
That seems like a very large aspect of your childhood.
Well, so you'd think so, but the truth is, it was his job, not mine.
That's fair. But I feel like that's the kind of thing you bring home a little bit, like religion.
A little bit, yeah.
Like you probably just say like grace and do sorts of other shit, right?
Yeah, but that's like 10 seconds. It didn't have as much of a... Never mind. This is boring, but...
Yeah. Let's talk about Pokemon some more.
Yeah. I did have a lot of friends who were kind of... Like, my parents were pretty cool about it. Like, I also, like, showed them the game so that they could see there wasn't any, like, weird, like, summoning Satan from the Pokeball kind of stuff. But I had a lot of friends who had gotten in trouble for that. Like, I remember, like, sometimes adults would try to, like, have talks with me about it. Like,
sure.
Now you know that these actually represent the crystals of the devil, Lars, and you technically shouldn't be playing them.
Oh, the devil has crystals? That's awesome. I wish I had Satan crystals. That sounds gangster. Yeah, that's because for my video, the main thing was evolution. I think also it was banned somewhere in the Middle East because there was one Pokemon card that had like a Jewish star on it or something.
Maybe.
And they were saying it was like trying to promote Judaism or something weird like that. I can't remember the specifics, but yeah, the premise that...
Well, there was a Golbat that had a reverse swastika on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because that's like is it Shintoism or Buddhism or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's got a different meaning in the...
I feel like Pokemon messed up by calling it evolution because it's not... I mean, it doesn't really resemble evolution at all. It resembles metamorphosis, if anything.
Yeah, well, that was what I was saying before. Like, it happens immediately as opposed to over thousands or hundreds of thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Metamorphosis doesn't necessarily imply that they get better, though, in the way that evolution does. Just it seems like it's evolution as like a semantic term. It's just, the evolution from this to this. Getting better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they should have called it Digivolution.
They should have.
Oh, that makes it better, yeah.
They missed out.
They could have just Digivolved, yeah.
There's something funny about the idea of like those sneaky Japanese trying to subvert the laws of God. It's like,
yeah, because they're not a particularly Christian people.
Yeah, like they're coming to America to like ruin like Christianity. It's like they probably don't even know Christianity exists.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I did look it up because I think that in Japan, like 2% of the country's Christian or something like that. And people were accusing it of being made by like Satanists or whatever. And I'm like, I don't even think they really have much of a concept of Satan over there.
Mm-hmm. You guys remember the story about that one girl who thought she was a Pidgey and like jumped off like a second story building?
I wish I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And she was like,
I wish you wouldn't have said that. I would have been okay not knowing about that. Did she really think she was a Pidgey?
Well, because I don't know if that's actually a true story though.
Oh, this sounds like one of those rumors, like how the guy from Blue's Clues killed himself.
Yeah, because this is like this wasn't pre-internet, but this was pre-social media and pre the era where you kind of look everything up. So these rumors would just fly wild back then, like just really sometimes even ridiculous stuff, like we were saying with the Pokegods and there's all this nonsense. And
your parents or like teachers would look at that, or hear that, and be like, "Well." It inspired one kid to die.
Yeah. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But yeah, I don't know. It was a wild time. The 90s and the early 2000s was just kind of a ridiculous point in humanity.
Yeah, it was like at the point where everything, like the internet existed, so you were able to access a lot more information, but it was unregulated, which was like good at the same time, but also meant people could post dumb shit and people were like, well, I guess this is probably real.
Although, to be fair...
I don't see a difference between that and now. I barely see the difference.
Say that...
That's true.
That's how you describe today. We're always ridiculous.
But back then was a lot funnier.
And less horrifying, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah, didn't actually influence like elections and things. It was just dumb shit that kids did and injured themselves with.
Yeah, now it gets like gag candidates elected in America and stuff. Like, it's like, it's not as fun anymore.
I think we've still tricked a good amount of kids into microwaving their iPhones, and that's a plus.
That is true. Yeah, I feel like at least once every couple of months you hear about someone who's like gets fooled into thinking they can microwave their phone to recharge it.
Do you reckon ever that Apple's just going to be like, wow, I just used a kudosism. Do you reckon ever?
There you go.
Yeah, do you figure they're ever going to like, Apple's just going to be like, fuck it, let's develop the technology so you can microwave your phone. Just because those, like the 1% of dumb idiots that are going to do it.
I'm pretty sure they already have, but they're hiding it from us because they want to sell us chargers.
Oh.
There we go. The ultimate tinfoil hat. Wait, yeah. I was thinking about this last night. I'm pretty sure I was gaslit when I was a teenager. I lived with a friend for a wee while, and they had a microwave that you could put a metal spoon in, and in fact he suggested you did when you make hot chocolate.
What?
And you did, and it was fine. And I to this day don't know what the fuck that was about. Like he'd be like you'd make a hot chocolate and you put it in the microwave to finish it off or whatever, and he's like, keep the spoon in it, it like helps it heat up or something. And I was like, nah, it's a metal spoon, it's gonna spark up and explode. And he's like, nah, just do it. And I did it and it was fine. And he was right. And I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that is strange, man. Like,
don't try that at home, by the way. I think this guy had a special spoon, a special microwave aimed for spoons.
Unless you have a Game Boy and you want a special Pokemon.
Yeah, that's yeah, of course.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Yeah, we talk internet.
Oh,
Pokemon.
Oh, I learned a funny fact today.
Okay.
So it turns out that the creator of Scrabble was named Alfred Butts. So that was funny.
See, this is a fact that I want to learn.
Yeah.
He should make it so that Butts is worth the most points in Scrabble.
No, that's a proper noun. That's not the real word.
That's the only one he's allowed. Like he makes it in the rules that that's the only proper noun you're allowed to use as his name. It's like a developer Easter egg.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Never too late. Senor Butts, whatever your name is.
Why are you guys making it up that he was like foreign or something? I think he was an American.
I am from America. How dare you?
I'm gonna look this up.
No,
yeah,
don't
he was
look
an American art.
No.
All right.
The world Scrabble champion is from New Zealand, so we've got that, I guess.
I wish that he had named it Butts, and then like if people had were like, "Why did you name it that?" It's my name, dude. Stop being a dick to me. That's just my name. That would have been like a great troll.
That's a good name to become a scientist with, so that you can name like some awful disease that like makes children's bones turn inside out, like how you've got Butts disorder.
Paging Dr. Butts.
Dr. Butts, we need you.
I always feel for people like that. Like I've got a friend whose last name is Dick, and it's like there's so many websites that just won't let you sign up with your actual name.
Yeah.
Or like they'll let you sign up with your name, but then if you want your username to just be your actual name, they won't let you do it.
No, that reminds me, by the way, I don't know if you've ever heard of this in your area, because it probably wouldn't have come up, but there was a NASCAR driver. I swear this is true. His name is Dick Trickle.
Oh no.
Yeah. And his real name was Richard, but he just preferred Dick. And it's I
can see why.
I mean, he lent into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did. And he took it completely seriously. He's like, I'm Dick Trickle. I'm a NASCAR guy. And he was actually a very successful one, too.
Dude, that rolls off the tongue. You remember it. I would sponsor that guy. Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I love that clip from, I can't remember what talk show it was, but Donald Glover's on it. He's like, it wasn't until I was an adult that I realized my name could be Dong Lover.
Dong Lover, yeah. Mm-hmm. He paid bills, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good clip. Yeah. I'm lucky. I think my parents were my dad especially was very like, they made sure like they chose a name that couldn't be like misconstrued, even considered the initials. They didn't want me to have silly initials or anything. So I appreciate my parents doing that, because some people, there's kids at my school who would have like the same first and last name. And it was really, like,
wait,
their name
what?
would be like, maybe not the same first and last name, but like say their last name was like Richardson, and then they name their kid Richard, which I guess like Richardson is like son of Richard. But so his name would just be like Richard Richardson or something, like that, where it's like just repeating the same name twice. It always seems, I don't know, why would you do that? Give your kid a different name.
Yeah. Or oh, the worst thing in the world is when you give a kid a name that is common, but you swap out a letter for another one.
Yeah.
I'm Bevan. Hello.
That's not what I meant, but
No,
yeah.
it's not. What did you mean?
Yeah, no, I meant like if they spell Ryan with an I instead of a Y.
So like you're. Oh,
or like
I see.
Caitlin, but like KEIGHTLYNN.
Yeah.
Just name it. Just spell it. Because you've just given that kid, like, you've made them have for the rest of their life. They now have to correct people.
Exactly.
You can't just say, "Hey, I'm Caitlin." You have to be, "Oh, Caitlin," but it's with a, awful.
Yeah, it's child abuse. Honestly,
it's a very minuscule form of child abuse.
Yeah.
But maybe it's like a boy named Sue. You build a character.
I think it's a gift. I think as a Caitlin with a G, you'll know who your real friends are, because if people are spelling it with an A, you're like, you don't really know me. You'll see who's really on your side by who takes the extra effort.
Who really learnt to spell my name? Yeah, that's true. There are certain names like Jared. There's a lot of ways to spell Jared that I guess you could argue are all kind of like acceptable.
Now there's one way to spell Jared. Not J-E. Jared. Like, if you're doing anything else, you're just making it hard for a kid.
My friend Jared has 2 R's and an OD. So to me, that's the actual one. And apparently Shippiddge too. So it sounds like you're the wrong one.
GRRRD.
Gerd.
Jared.
No, Jared.
All right, man.
JERRYO 6 number 3s and then a D.
JAR-RED.
It just reminds me back in the day before I decided I never want to have kids that I did have plans to like name my kid Tim with the silent 3, like TI3M. I just thought they could give him some character.
Okay, that's child abuse. That one
I don't think
is.
you're allowed to do that.
What do you mean not allowed? You can name them whatever you want.
I don't think you can use special characters.
Wait, are there rules for naming your kids?
You can't use emojis in names anymore.
I think it depends on the country, but like say in New Zealand, I know you can't use, you're not allowed to use any titles. So you can't name your kid like Princess, such and such. Like you can't give titles that are earned. You couldn't just call your kid President Lars. As badass. Yeah,
there's none of that here. Like I knew this kid named Proctor, and Proctor's like a special term for like a fancy exam giver. Like they don't care about that kind of stuff here. Also, there's this guy named Trout Fishing America. So it's like I think they're pretty liberal here.
It's a good name. I think in New Zealand as well, you're not allowed to name people like Jesus, I think. But then obviously that's a common name in like Spanish cultures.
But so if you show up, they're just like, nope, you got to change it. And the guy's like, no, I'm Jesus.
No, well, yeah, if you already have it, I think that's fine. It's if you have a new child. Maybe. I could be wrong. I also know you can't. I think people have been rejected for wanting to name their kids like Adolf Hitler or like shit like that.
Yeah.
Really? I've heard of people that were able to do that here. Maybe it's a regional
thing. I think in America
thing.
you're allowed to.
Yeah.
America's the land of the free, but I think in New Zealand they're like, maybe don't name your kid Adolf Hitler. Or I think some have been rejected for just being gibberish. Like they just slap a keyboard and fucking like they've said no to that as well.
Because gibberish is not a bad name. It sounds fancy if you don't know what it means.
There's a friend of mine used to work at a call center. I'll keep it vague like that. They said one of the people they had to call up, their name was Poison Blade.
Whoa!
Yeah, you told that story.
Yeah, Blade spelled with a BLAYDE. I believe.
Now that's a gift. It sounds like the kind of person was like that their parents have to die at some point.
Yeah, and she has to absorb their power.
And he uses a gun.
I remember we were talking about this on our earlier episode, and we got to the point where we were saying that like it's probably a good idea that teenagers aren't able to change their own names.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. They'd be really edgy and stupid with it.
Well, this podcast is a flat circle at this point. Yeah.
What would you have changed your guys' names to if you could?
Oh, see, I have the advantage of having a really weird name for Americans, so
Lars?
I wouldn't change it. Yeah.
Lars. I'd just swap out Lars for an O, so it's Lars.
Why?
I'd get a kick out of that.
Wait, that would be your name is Lars?
Yeah.
All right.
Lars.
I'd probably go with something super villainy like Xanthar.
Yeah.
gunman, gunhaver from Homestar. I always liked gunhaver. Anyway.
Gunhaver.
Yeah, you guys are all right. I half expected to come on this thing and be like berated with why does what you do suck? And where's the next one? Why has it been 2 years? But I feel like I've learned a lot.
We would never do that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a dick
actually,
move.
there was a question I would ask Shippiddge. So why does what you do suck?
It's because I am but one man, and I'm trying my best, but I am human.
You do a really good Mick Lauer impression, though.
Yeah. Wait. So you expected us to have you come on air and just like insult you?
Whenever I start a podcast, I'm half worried about getting ambushed by something like that, because I feel like one of these days it's gonna happen, and I have to be ready for it every time, just in case.
I mean, statistically speaking, one day you're gonna get stuck.
Well,
and
maybe.
It's weird that in that dynamic, somehow you leaving, like if you're like, well, fuck this, you leaving somehow makes you more of a dick than the people who brought you on just to roast you.
Oh, it does.
I don't know. It's a weird, it's weird that
you're required to sit there and take it. I mean, because people know who you are. People expect things from you. And what are you going to do, run away? No. So I'm not going to run away because I don't want to be looked at like that.
You don't want to give them the headline of like, we made Shippiddge run away. You know, like Shippiddge leaves cool guilty ? You don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, what kind of podcasts are you guys listening to? Because this is, I mean, it's not exactly gotcha journalism for the most part.
I only listen to the first podcast available at first.podcast.first.
Yeah, that's the one.
But probably. Can someone go through and find all the URLs I've said throughout this podcast and register all those domains and redirect them?
Some rib ticklers.
I don't know. I'm just thinking if I ran a podcast, I would just want to antagonize my guests. I would want to create conflict, and it would be interesting.
You just described Keemstar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
I guess, but like you all know who Keemstar is.
That's true. I've met him.
Yeah.
Had he not
antagonized people, you wouldn't have wanted him, or you wouldn't have met him. You'd be like, "Who is this guy? I don't know."
I don't know if that's an interesting philosophical question though, because I think there's a debate to be had whether it's better to be known for being like a cunt rag,
better to be known.
Yeah, or better to not be known at all. Like, I don't know. I guess in Keemstar's case, he'd rather be known as a dipshit, but like, I think I'd probably prefer the public not know who I am in that situation. So
you'd rather be completely unknown than be mean to somebody.
Yeah. But by the way, speaking of Pokemon, since it is technically news of the day, apparently a new Pokemon Snap's getting a review bombed. You guys see this?
What do you mean review bombed?
No.
Yeah, like on Metacritic, there's been a concerted effort over the last few days to give it like straight zeros across the board.
They've been throwing apples at it.
Why?
No.
I love it, and I'm trying so hard not to play it. All I can think about, I know that I could just live there. I think about it so much, but I have to do my work, and I'm really trying to resist. It's too good. I hate how good it is. I love it. Why people would want to review bomb it is, I guess it doesn't matter to me, because the fact that it exists is just golden.
Well, because I've heard from a lot of people it's really good.
That's amazing.
Is there something else happening? Like there must be some politics around it. Not
okay.
Like
So here's what I've heard.
Okay.
What I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, is that people, for some fucking reason, because they're idiots, were expecting more of a Breath of the Wild kind of experience with the game.
Okay. Did they play the original?
I guess not.
They're getting that with Arceus Legends. They're getting that. That's so greedy.
No, maybe people have dumb fucking ape brains and they saw was it Arceus Legends and they were like, oh, that's it.
This is gonna make me cry, and then the clickbait title's gonna be true. This is bullshit.
Yeah. Shippiddge will leave.
Don't give me facts that make me leave.
I just think it's funny because like it also speaks to a larger issue, which is that your average person has no idea what a 0 out of 10 means when it comes to reviews. Like, just absolutely, because, okay, I think, and I'm guessing you guys are going to agree with me here, that when you give a game a 0 out of 10, you are saying it is so bad that it could belong in a museum. Like, you're saying that it's so dreadfully awful that it deserves to be in the same ranks as Superman 64, Bubsy 3D, E.T. for the Atari, like that level of bad.
Even those games are like a 1. 0 to me is like genuinely unplayable. Like it's like broken.
I'm gonna say Superman, you get to play as Superman and fly through rings just like in your fantasies. And
that's everyone's fantasy.
Is hilarious. He has so many one-liners. E.T. I might agree with you on. I mean, they did landfill that one's pretty much unplayable. But 0 is 0. Like the game doesn't start because it's broken and it bricks your console.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it melts, it melts your console and turns it into goo or something. Like that's what a 0 is. So when someone goes to Pokemon Snap with a 0, it's like, okay, well, clearly there's something else going on here. That, at a bare minimum, even if you didn't like the game, it would still be technically like, the music, music, visuals. It's probably at least like a 4 or 5, right? If you didn't like the gameplay at all, it's still competent. So to give it a 0 is like, okay, well, that sounds like a you problem, sir.
Yeah, that sounds to me like there's something else going on there. And it's also, it reminds me of people who like are really hard on the Star Wars movies where they're like, this is a complete cinematic failure. It's like, well, no, I mean, the newer ones may not have been very good.
But it's Star Wars.
Yeah, it's like, it's still like, there's competent cinematography and there's like a discernible plot and stuff. Like it's, like, we've kind of lost perspective on what bad is, I think, at times.
I think to be fair, we've also lost perspective on what good is, because every game gets if it's under an 8, it's garbage. When really like 5 to 7 or 8 should be like above average to good. And like 9 and 10 should be like, holy shit, this is the best thing I've ever played in my fucking life. Like I'm going to remember this game for years to come. But like fucking the new Call of Duty that they shat out for the second time this year, that'll just get a 9. It's like, yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah. Anyway,
review scores, man. It always jars you a bit though when you do, like, say you watch a YouTuber who doesn't care about your feelings, man. Who like actually does rate things properly, where like a 5 is an average, 4 is below average, 6 is slightly above average, and they'll give like a movie you really like a 6 or 7, and it's like, oh damn. But technically that is kind of still good.
Yeah. I feel like Adam from Your Movie Sucks is pretty good at like very honest ratings.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I trust I don't always agree with him, but I trust his opinion as a good like barometer for
Donkey as well. He's pretty good. Pretty good. Out of 5, usually.
He's pretty honest. It's honest. At the end of the day, it's subjective.
I like Donkey because he'll give a 3 to like a game that's pretty, like, really good. Like, that's a good score for him, is a 3. Like, I feel like that's refreshing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He also, like, I thought it was interesting, he revisits things and like, reconsiders them, like, he rated like Red Dead like a 3 out of 5 or something, and then like he made it his top game of last year because he went back and played it through again, and he was like, oh wow, like playing through this a second time, I kind of have so much more like appreciation for it. So yeah, it's someone who can reevaluate and change their score over time, I think is that's also important.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed Doplex. Oh, where's Doplex? He got his foreskin caught in the shower or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. His raccoon got hepatitis. No, he had to miss out on this episode because he's, I don't know if I should say who it is, but he's doing some work for kind of like a diva company, and I won't cost him the gig. I won't say who it is, so that's why he's not here tonight. He had to work overtime for that. I do miss his clips. His keyboard. I miss his sultry smell. Yeah. Wait, he doesn't have a foreskin. What are you talking about?
Yes, he does.
No, he doesesn't.
Yes. I'm pretty sure he does. Wait, what?
All right. Shippiddge, I think we're getting to that time.
What time?
Is there anything else you want to get into while we're here?
When the foreskin talk starts kind of popping
Well,
up.
now
That's
you've
where
got me
nothing's been.
curious. I need to find out if Doplex has foreskin or not. This
Yeah, well-
sounds important.
All right, I'll DM him. 1 second. Twitter.
Wait, what if I can call him? Oh wait, I'd have to call him on Discord.
Yeah, I just sent him a DM, ask him if he has foreskin.
Okay, awesome.
Lovely.
Shippiddge, what did you want to bring up? You said you wanted to berate us or bully us and make us leave or something?
Oh, okay. You guys suck, and your voices don't sound very good, and you should leave.
I know you went to Brown, but I didn't know you studied how to be mean.
Wait, didn't you go to some like off-brand brown, like burnt auburn or something?
No, it's the full color. It's super dark red. That's technically brown.
It's earthy tones.
It's
full
real.
spectrum.
It's a school, and I learned things there. You guys are dicks. I'm leaving.
I sent a. Why can I not say his name? I just talked to him. I sent Doplex a DM just now saying, "Do you have a foreskin?" Asking for the podcast. He hasn't responded, but I'm like 99% sure he's seen it, which means I don't think. I think this has really pissed him off.
He's furious right now.
Then your work is done. How much time do we have left?
Okay, so just to be kind of a wank, I'll say that we have infinite amount of time, obviously, because it's a podcast. But
Sure.
Here he is.
realistically, I mean, probably another 10, 20 minutes.
Okay. If anyone in the chat has questions, I'll answer any of them, even
Okay.
those ones. Go rapid fire. I
everyone
love
asked Shippiddge 16 questions each.
16. Shippiddge, what's your penis size? Just right. How big is your penis? The perfect size. Why are you crying? I'm not crying! Shut up! Do you regret the accident? I'll never regret it, and it wasn't an accident. Are you gay? Maybe. Everybody's a little gay. Do you know the way? No one truly knows the way. That's all of them so far.
That's my favorite part of the episode.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Man,
I love
that's
rapid
way
fire questions. Shippage, can you fix my marriage? Only you can fix your marriage. How wide is your butthole? Just the right size. Is there a dumb fuck named yourself? There could be. All right. Right. That's what
This
I
is
came here for.
we could really speed up this podcast if we just did this sort of from the start.
This is what I usually do on my weekly streams. Is I just like read everything and respond immediately. That I love engaging with everyone. It's the best. Shippage, do you fart? No. Sorry, I had to read that one. I think I'm running out of time though.
All right. Wait, they're asking how many eggs can you eat?
I used to eat 4 eggs every single day. And then I went to the doctor and he was like, why? And I said, I like eggs. And he was like, you got to cut it down to 2. But the most I've eaten is 12 in one sitting.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And I have a picture of it. It was so
You took
good.
a picture of it.
Yeah, it was so good, but like it was like one of those once in a lifetime things where it's like you can only do that once, you know? It's bad for your heart.
Did you go to the doctor for egg related problems, or was that just like a side note while you were there for something else?
I went to the doctor to make sure that eating that many eggs was okay, and he said no.
You could have just Googled that.
No. I've Googled and done research on eggs, and there's no conclusive evidence. All they know that is it just gives you a dickload of cholesterol.
Chip, I feel like if you went ahead and just thought about it, though, 28 eggs a week is like obviously like ridiculously excessive.
Oh, right. Sorry. I mean, it's bad. I'm still not used to it.
This has scarred you. What's your favorite way to eat eggs and why?
Over easy, because you get the juicy little yellow stuff. You get it to be all runny, and it like coats the white stuff. So good.
Do you like when you do eggs over easy, you don't quite cook the white enough, and you get the egg smegma or eggma as I call it on top? Which it's like snot.
When I taste the snotty eggma, I know that I have failed.
Yeah, that actually makes me want to throw up when I get that.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you ever egged someone's house?
I never. I'm a fearful man. I don't want them to retaliate by throwing eggs at my house.
That's why you do it under the veil of darkness while dressed like an egg, because then they'll be out looking for an egg.
No, you dress like a chicken. Then they'll think, why is a chicken coming after me?
Exactly, and then you doff the costume, and then people won't have any idea. They'll be looking for a chicken man, and you'll be away laughing.
I'm not a chicken.
Well, this is why you got to be in like an actual chicken though, because then you can kind of like shotgun them out of your butt. Isn't that how that works?
I think that's how it works in Banjo-Kazooie, so I think that was a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I like this question. What are your thoughts on ghouls? And I love that question because I never have when people say like zombies or ghosts, I have a very clear picture in my head of what that is. But ghoul, it's such a mystery to me that it's like the gut reaction is fear, and I love being afraid.
Who would win in a fight between a ghoul and a geist?
Probably a ghoul. A geist would be afraid.
Speaking of Banjo-Kazooie, by the way, I wonder if Rare knew at the time when they were making that game that its soundtrack would be like pulling so much weight in the modern YouTube video essay community.
Grant Kirkhope is a legend, man.
Yeah,
that guy's music is like, ooh.
He was probably just like, oh yeah, happy time Baz, doing happy time things, whatever, doodly doodly doo. And then later it's like, dude, you're a god. And he's like, oh, I am? Oh, all right, cool.
I love that old Game Grumps episode where they had him on. He's actually like a really funny dude.
Yeah, he's great.
What a classic. God, I missed that era of like puzzle platformer shit like that. That was so much fun. Action platformers? I don't even know what we called them.
Did you play Hat in Time?
Yeah, I did.
I have heard that was very similar though.
I loved Hat in Time. It was the same feel and it was so magical. It was great.
I gotta be honest, I missed the concept of that era more than I missed that era. I do like the advancements they've made in the genre since then, but it's like it is kind of my childhood though. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I wonder how much of it is just nostalgia. I don't know. I
mean, they kind of found out. Cause like,
I'm so furious that like Crash and Spyro. I never had a PlayStation, so like all these games getting remastered is really cool because now I get to play them for the first time. But I'm also like, God damn, they look so amazing. And now all I want is a Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie remaster. And Nintendo's such a cunt that they probably won't do it.
Just release DK64 for Switch. That's all I want.
Just remaster and and then
I don't
Mario
even want to
64.
remaster.
Imagine if they just remastered that would have been the slam dunk of the century. And they're like, just have a port.
Yeah. It worked. I paid $60 for Mario 64 again because I'm an idiot.
I know. But imagine if it was remastered. They've already got half the assets in Odyssey. Just use that.
They already did DS, and I bought that too because I'm a shill.
Also, they kind of pretended like there was no remastering in the 3D All-Stars. There was. Odyssey was remastered. I don't know what people were talking about. Like it was upscaled and
you mean 64?
No, I mean Galaxy.
Oh, Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Galaxy was at 1080p, 60 frames per second. Like they did make it look nicer and arguably play a lot better. I
guess. I don't even touch those other two. I only play 64. That's the only one I wanted.
Because I actually played Galaxy for the first time when I got 3D All-Stars, and it became my favorite game. Like, there's just something about that title that is just so perfect to me. It's just magical.
Please, if you're listening, just remaster all the games from my childhood and not the ones from other people's childhoods.
Yeah, exactly.
All I wanted my whole life was them to do another Pokemon Snap, and my prayers have been answered. So like, I'm just gonna keep giving them money. It seems like they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
there is a bit of irony. All right.
I was going to see how long we could hold that.
There is a bit of irony about the fact that Nintendo is like famous or infamous for literally just doing the same series over and over and over and over again, but they refuse to remaster them. It's like you're still kind of making the same game each time. Just remake the old one again. You've already done it. You do it even better.
Okay, Duplex says, yes, I have 3 foreskins.
Ooh.
Well, and then he's got 3 skin. That's different.
Yeah. What an idiot.
Yeah. What a moron.
What a
dunce.
donut. What a duck hole.
Yeah.
A duck hole.
What a toenail man. He doesn't know shit about his own penis.
I like dumpling. I like calling people dumplings.
What a dumpling. What an overcooked little dumpling.
Because it evokes so much imagery. It's like you're like plump and like dumb at the same time.
You guys want to wrap it up there? I think this is a good note to go on.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on, Shippiddge.
I'll come on whenever you want. Oh, by the way, I'm looking so forward to you got the legend Tara Strong on. I am hyped. I am tuning in for that.
We're getting her to do voice lines for episode 10.
Yeah. One day in the future, when I'm done with all this Pokemon stuff, it would be a dream to work with her. Someday.
Get it? We'll make her say 3 specific words for you, and you can use them in one line.
Yes, she'll be in every episode.
No, but really, thanks for coming on, Shippiddge. It was lovely talking to you.
You too.
I'm excited to go and watch the remaining.
Oh, please do. I hope you enjoy it now that you know me as a human person.
Well, I kind of figured you were probably a human person, but I now I've got confirmation.
You are smart man.
But no, it was fantastic having you on. Thank you. Feel free to come on.
I was really confused. Why?
Anytime.
By the way, like, why have you been using actual words? Shouldn't you be saying human, 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 human?
And we're not Pokemon though, Lars.
This is reality, Lars. You have a lot to learn.
Okay.
Lars can't distinguish fantasy from reality.
Yeah, that's why I died by thinking I was a Pidgey when I was a kid.
Kudos, please take care of him from now on.
Yeah.
I won't. It's funnier to see him hurt.
Dark. You've been listening to the first podcast. Subscribe on YouTube today if you haven't already. youtube.com/the first podcast. Donate on patreon.com/T1podcast to get bonus episodes of the show, early listening privileges, a patron-only chat, a funny roll on the Discord, a platonic kiss from Doplex, and more. I think that's going to do it. Shippiddge, can you take us out?
I love you all more than myself or anyone that I've ever known. Goodbye.
Goodbye, kissins.
Ooh.